EMX Royalty is a company currently generating very significant revenue from royalty payments from the mining of metals such as gold and copper. EMX does not actually mine the metal. Instead, they collect a small percentage of usually the gross metal value being mined. This percentage is called a net smelter agreement or an NSR. For example, if there was a 2% NSR royalty on a property producing gold, it would be calculated as the current price of gold, $2,700 times the NSR of 2%, giving a payment of $54 to the royalty holder for every ounce of gold pulled out of the ground. So as the price of gold rises, so does the value of the NSR. If the gold price rose from $2,700 to $3,000 an ounce, the royalty payment would now be $60 for every ounce of gold mined. These royalty payment agreements are used by resource companies to acquire funding for exploration or development of their properties in exchange for the royalty. Also, these royalties can be exchanged for the sale of a resource property in order for the seller to maintain some upside exposure if the asset starts producing. These deals can include regular property payments being made to the company that sells the asset, which EMX generally has incorporated into many of their deals. So these royalties give the advantage of cash flow without the risks of fluctuating operational costs or the need of additional capital development costs for increased production. EMX has generated 5 quarters of strong revenues from their portfolio of royalty assets. Here's the guidance for the full year of 2024, where the last quarter is not on the books yet, but they are expecting to beat their guidance on revenue that has a high range of $27.5 million. So great to see management delivering on their guidance for the year. Their revenue came mostly from their 6 producing royalties located throughout the world. The company also has royalties on over 150 additional currently non-producing properties, all of which could add to the future cash flow of EMX. Also, increased production on their already producing assets could add to revenue as well. These 4 producing royalties are really where the bulk of EMX's revenue is coming from, though. If you focus on the gold bars of net asset values, then add these values up, you get a total of $412.5 million NPV or net present value. But the stock is trading at just $277 million market cap. So the stock is trading at a very steep discount to the NAV of just these 4 assets alone. Royalty companies have traditionally traded above their NAV historically, so the stock is really undervalued right now. The most important future asset for EMX is Timok, located in Serbia. There's a lot going on at this property right now. Here's the ore body of the Timok royalty currently in production, paying around $5.5 million in 2024 to EMX. This gold copper deposit is divided into the lower zone and the upper zone. The revenue to EMX right now is from the mining of the upper zone only. Zijin, the operator of the mine, is committing $5 billion to get the lower zone of the deposit into production. This lower zone is slated to come online in 2026 to provide royalty revenue to EMX. The most exciting thing about this deposit is that it is sloping toward a higher royalty zone of 2% for gold and silver and 1% for base metals, which is divided by the blue vertical line in the diagram. The current area of production is 0.3625% NSR. The lower zone of the deposit is estimated to be over 2 billion tons and still growing, so a massive generational size deposit. Revenue from this deposit has potential to be a company maker for EMX. Zijin are currently upgrading their processing plant from 12,000 tons per day to 15,000 tons per day. There's also a new zone at Zijin's property that lies in the royalty footprint of EMX called the MG zone. This image shows 12 drill rigs on the MG zone. So more metal could be found here and eventually put into production by Zijin. This large increase in resource size could add many decades of production. Let's move on now to Caserones royalty located in Chile, which is providing EMX with about $10 million a year worth of revenue. This deposit is also huge at 1.5 billion tons of copper and moly. The operator of the mine, the legendary Lundin family, considered one of the best mining operators in the world. This asset currently has a mine life going to the year 2042. Lundin is also committing almost $15 million in a 12,900 meter drilling program to increase the size of the deposit to help increase the life of the mine. Looking towards next year, the company next producing royalty should come from Viscaria in Sweden. This is a copper, iron, gold deposit that EMX has a 1% NSR on. Here's the share structure of the company. Great to see 12.8% of shares are owned by EMX managers, directors, and employees. This percentage is quite high, so management and shareholders' interests are aligned. Some other big names include Sprott and Franco-Nevada. Franco also holds the company's long-term debt, and the two have a joint venture agreement in place. Having those deals with a big, highly respected company like Franco really is a convincing vote of confidence for EMX. EMX actually has a cash position now of $27 million with debt of $35 million as of this press release on January 9th, 2025, which gives a net debt of only $8 million. EMX is currently trading at a steep discount to their net asset value. The additional royalty revenue from Viscari in Sweden should be very accretive to cash flow coming into EMX. The company has some nice growth potential coming from Timok that could really be a company maker for EMX starting in 2026. Please verify all information for yourself. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.